What's up, y'all? This is your boy Eddie Jackson. Welcome back to the Drop That Podcast. Before we get into it, we got MMA talk, but let's give a shout out to Layback TV, our sponsor, number one in the fucking world. Over 10,000 channels, movies on demand, every sports channel, multiple HBOs, multiple languages if you speak their Espanol. And it's very simplified, okay? It's compatible with your iPhones, Androids, and your Fire Sticks. You don't believe me? Check them out on laybacktv.com, okay? LAYBACK-TV.com for you motherfuckers who can't spell, okay? And check them out on official_LaybackTV on their Instagram, all right? Tell them your boy Eddie Jack sent you. Let's get into this motherfucker MMA talk. Yo! PFL. Battle of the Giants. I watched it. Can you fucking believe it? Yes, I did. I watched it. I was so hyped about this card. You know, my favorite, one of my favorite fighters was on this card, and we'll get right into it. We talking the mercenary, AJ McKee, former Bellator featherweight champion. Okay, former Bellator featherweight champion defeated Patricio Pitbull. Okay, how do I know that? Because I was fucking there at the forum when the fight occurred. It was the finals, and if you could check on my tweets, go way back when this tournament started with Bellator's featherweight division, I said, I'm calling it now. AJ McKee, undefeated, best striker, best grappler, back flipper, everything you can think of. LA's own. Okay? I think he's Long Beach, but I'm not sure. Cali's own. And Patricio Pitbull in the finals. I fucking called it, and I was there watching it as he knocked out and put to sleep Patricio Pitbull. But they had the rematch. He lost the title, and PFL acquired Bellator. Now he was chasing still, lightweight gold to be a two-division world champion in Bellator. So he took on Paul Hughes. I was very shocked. AJ got dropped in the first round. Some people even give Paul Hughes a unanimous decision. But it was a split decision. Still the winner, Paul Hughes, Ireland's own. And technically this was kind of like promoted as the number one contendership for the Bellator lightweight title. I was disappointed. I don't know what game plan AJ was going with. I never like when he's on his back foot. I prefer him to apply the pressure, takedowns, striking. He ain't gotta cut to 145 no more. He can stay at 155, his natural weight, just knocking motherfuckers out. Now he just lost his second fight. Does his stock go down? No. He re-signed with Bellator, after he won that tournament. But it was like, now what are you chasing? You know what I'm saying? You already won the featherweight gold. You won the tournament. You beat the best of the featherweight division. And, 155, got some names. You want that undefeated lightweight champion that's being trained by Khabib Nurmagomedov? Cool. Then what? I personally feel the time in Bellator / PFL for AJ McKee is completely done. Because even if he was to fight for the lightweight title, and you give that first defeat to Nurmagomedov, then what? Who are you defending against? You know what I'm saying? Like he was in that lightweight tournament. It was supposed to be AJ McKee versus Patricio Pitbull, the brother of Patricio. He would have had both Pitbull names under his belt. Michael Chandler almost took it. He knocked out Patricio Pitbull, but he got knocked out by Patricio. So this would have been really good. But why is AJ there? I don't get it. He deserves to be in the UFC. He's one of Bellator's best. He doesn't need to do that no more. He can test his skills over in the UFC. There is nothing to chase. Not a PFL title, not a Bellator title. Did anybody think that the Bellator PFL announcing 8 Bellator events in 1 year when there's 12 months in a calendar. You don't think that they're deteriorating that fucking company? I don't know. I want to see AJ McKee fight out his contract, or at least go beat Patricky Pitbull. You got history, and ask for the release. Just get the fuck out. Doesn't matter. But let's see what he does next. Shout out to Paul Hughes. I think he could get the title shot, and he called it out. So I want to see that happen. Next bout, Johnny Elbin. I think I'm saying his name right. Elbin. Johnny Elbin. Defending, once again, the middleweight championship of Bellator against Fabian Edwards, who is the brother of Leon Edwards, former UFC welterweight champion. Lost again. I do not understand what the game plan was for Fabian. Now he fought his way back to get a title shot. Lost it unanimous. Now what? I don't see anything. If he wants to go for a PFL belt, cool, but I don't see anything in his future of becoming a Bellator middleweight champion against Johnny. Johnny has got a A+ game. You know, he's the best of the best in that organization. So, shout out to Johnny retaining the Bellator middleweight championship. Next, co-main event: Chris Cyborg, Bellator featherweight champion, taking on Larissa Pachenko, who is the last person to defeat Kayla Harrison for the PFL women's lightweight gold. And she's a 2-division champion in PFL. They went the distance. I was scoring 4 rounds for Cyborg to 1 round for Larissa. Congratulations to Chris Cyborg. She did her thing. She is now multiple Grand Slam champion because she has got titles in Strikeforce, Invicta FC, UFC, Bellator, and now the PFL. I mean, personally, all she needs is 1 championship. Even if she wants to do that, they can do a co-promotion. But I think, at 39, she captured 5 belts at 5 organizations. She's on Mount Rushmore. Chris Cyborg, no matter what you want to say, she's on Mount Rushmore. I would put in that Mount Rushmore, I would give it to Amanda Nunes. I would definitely give it to Ronda Rousey. If I had to guess who should be on that other Mount Rushmore, you can make an argument. I mean, it's very, very... You can put Shevchenko, you can put Joanna Jędrzejczyk, you can put anybody. But shout out to Chris Cyborg. I want to know what she does next. Now you got a PFL belt, and now Super Fight PFL belt and a Bellator belt. What do you do next? She says she got about 2 fights left in her. Do I want to see her in a super fight? Depends on what. She says she wants February to come back. Let's see what happens. And then the main event, Francis Ngannou returning after 3 years to take on PFL heavyweight champion Renan Ferreira for the PFL heavyweight super fights championship. I was going back and forth. I think if it would have went a brawl, Renan takes it. I told a friend of mine, Francis got to do a takedown and ground and pound. He's got to. The inside game, that reach is way too long. I think the inside game and ground game of Francis would have gotten it done. And I called it. Congratulations, Francis Ngannou. You are the new PFL Super Fights heavyweight champion. Still lineal heavyweight champion of the UFC. It was very emotional to see it. He was emotional due to the fact of his son who passed away. His name was Kobe. Make sure you guys remember that. Remember the name Kobe. He did it for him. He was not going to take this fight. It's been a tough year for him. Falling 2 boxing fights to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. And he came back doing his thing. You know what I mean? Shout out to Francis. It was very emotional. I'm glad he got his moment. He deserved it. For him, his family, his son. Shout out to Kamaru Usman and Israel Adesanya, who's his African brothers, who were definitely watching the fight and reacted to the win. You know what I mean? Supporting him. He needed it. I'm a father of one, possibly two or three. I'm not sure. Um, but as a dad, that's the worst nightmare to see, God forbid anything that ever happens to our children. You know what I mean? So my heart goes out to Francis and his family. It was a great moment to watch. What does he do next? That's kind of a question mark. I mean, there's always that Deontay Wilder boxing fight. In MMA, I don't really see anything for him, super fights wise. I mean, unless he wants to go face Bellator's heavyweight champion Ryan Bader, I don't even know what he's doing. Because that fight, that Henan defeated Ryan Bader was last year, so nearly a year ago. So I'm wondering what's next for Francis. But shout out to him. PFL, you guys need to step your fucking game up, because I don't even consider you guys number 2 anymore. This should have been a bigger event. Honestly, this should have been a bigger event. Maybe I'll need Riyadh season. Who knows? But that's all we got for MMA Talk. We'll see you on the next MMA Talk when we break down UFC 308. Okay? That's Taporia versus Holloway. Okay? That's going down this Saturday. Stay tuned. We got that episode coming. You know what I'm saying? This your boy Eddie Jax. Subscribe to the page. Like the page. Y'all know what the fuck to do. Y'all got a disagreement when it comes down to my comments. I don't give a fuck. But kind of I do. I want to see what you got to say. Maybe I'll respond. Unless you say something not very clever. Okay? Y'all be safe. Peace.